Hey, 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 welcome back to another RSG Lunch Stream. I'm Ranger J 1999, your host and part of the RSG crew. Glad to have you guys all here on this Friday. It is TGIF, and we are glad it is Friday. It's been a long week. We've been having a lot going on. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions in chat. Not to worry, we're here to answer all your questions about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. If you're new to the lunch stream and wondering what this is where we just hang out with you good folks for a little bit, for an hour, hour and a half, whatever long it goes, where we're just going to answer your questions. We're going to do a roster review, answer any of your questions about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes that you may have. Whether you're new or old, it doesn't matter the question. Please fire away. And if you have a question that you want asked, all you need to do is pop that question in the chat. Make sure you put question in front of the statement so we know that it is a question. Helps us scoop it up faster, and we will get to those, as many of those as we can. Also, as a reminder, if you're watching this, please give us a thumbs up, or if you're watching this later on, please stop what you're doing. Just give us a thumbs up. That's all it takes. It helps get our content out to the YouTube world and helps with monetization. Helps keep those going. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We do a lot of live streaming with Galaxy Heroes and other games. If you want to know when we're doing our live stream, the best way to do that is to become a subscriber and hit that notification button. We also have our Patreon. We love our Patreon supporters. They are really what are keeping us going right now. If you'd like to become a Patreon sponsor, all you need to do is check out our Patreon page. $5 a month or more, and you can help support the content that we're putting out. And we are very appreciative of our Patreon supporters. And we've got the ACS campaign that we got going on, the American Cancer Society. If you'd like to check that out, we have a lot of cool stuff that's going on for that. So please feel free to check out that as well. We got a big stream coming up in 2 weeks. Let's see. When are we doing the 16th? So yeah, it's coming up here in 2 weeks, roughly. So we're going to be raising more money. We've got to get to 15,000. We're roughly 4,800, I think, with the American Cancer Society that we're raising. So we got a lot of cool stuff that we're offering. So we'll get to that at the end of the stream. That being said, let's introduce all the knuckleheads that are with me today. Of course, joining me is always the troll extraordinaire, Dr. Finn Medicine Woman.
Leave me alone. I'm playing Anthem.
Oh, okay. Damn, I didn't know. Satisfy that addiction, man. Also joining us that is not playing Anthem is Grim the Mechanic.
How's it going, guys? Actually, I'm playing 7 Days to Die, but I'm going to stop so I can focus on the stream.
You know, that's important. You know, also joining us, Mr. Gingivitis himself, the Ginger Ninja, Mr. Stanley Red, the Soulless One.
I'm a knucklehead.
Yes, you are, and be proud. I only call those I care about knuckleheads. And last but not least, it's been a while since he's been on. He's decided that he will take some time for us, and that's what's always appreciated. Of course, I'm talking about the Stoner Jedi. Xylo Takedown is here.
I is a knucklehead too.
Yes, you are.
What's up,
May Apprentice.
Oh no, Niam. No, he's the best.
He's amazing. He's going to take your place on the channel soon.
Very soon, yes.
And once more, the Sith will rule the galaxy. And you too. All right. All right, so get your questions in. I'm sure we're all excited. Yesterday was a long day of streaming. Good Lord, Finn, we did a lot of streaming yesterday. So we got up early. We did the Revan event. Then we had the lunch stream. Then we had the big announcement for the road ahead. And then I hung out with Mist on his channel. If you guys haven't checked out Mist, you should. He's really a good guy. He streams every Thursday night. I hang out with him. So if you guys haven't checked him out, please do. Go check out his channel. He's been a long time game changer and player of the game. He is the biggest goofball there is. He does stuff that just makes me shake my head like, why? Why are you doing this, Mist?
Oh man, last night when he bought that Omega,
I thought I was going to choke
like
him.
5 minutes.
I thought I was going to choke him out, man. I was like, what are you doing? Why?
That was
Why would you do
hilarious.
that? I need an Omega.
Oh,
What?
That guy's a knucklehead. He's hilarious though.
Yes, it was very funny. We had a good time. So check out Mr. channel. I wanted to pimp that out. And also, of course, check out Xylo's channel because, well, he's Xylo. How can you not support the Stoner Jedi in May Apprentice? All right.
You guys.
We have a roster review today, and it's kind of a follow-up for what we've done one we did recently. And that is, wait, am I doing the right one? No, it's not. I'm going to get that wrong one. Never mind. Stop. Reverse. delete all that. All right. Today we're doing SD Joe 84's profile, and they are in Shadowlands. I got roster reviews just flying through my head. We've been doing so many of them lately. And let's see what he is looking for. I'd ask Finn, but he's playing Anthem, so I'll do it myself because Finn's lazy and worthless. Let's see here. He is looking for mods and ships. The rebel meta and ships is killing me. My mods are underwhelming for a person with my GP. Well, let's kind of look at it. So, I mean, he's
I'm playing Anthem.
doing fine in arena. Not bad. He's got Revan. He's doing fine in fleet. Am I looking at the right one? I mean, if it's killing you, man, I mean, you're doing pretty solid.
You're looking at the right one.
I want to make sure because I'm
He's
like,
doing well. I mean, so he's doing fairly well, right? You can see a little bit of a drop in arena.
yeah,
A little bit, right?
Yeah,
He's more top 20 now instead of top 10. So we can kind of look over your mods and everything, and we can look at your ships. He's running the team, but I guess he's having some difficulty with the attacking. But it looks like you have everything. So we'll check the mods on your captains
yeah.
too,
I mean,
or your pilots.
doesn't look like. I mean,
And he's in the chat too, so.
that's fine. Let's look at some dispute secondaries. Let's see who they're on.
Hey, Hideous, I'm playing Anthem.
Stop saying that, Finn. We're not.
I'm just letting Hideous know. I don't think Hideous heard me.
Well, send him a private message.
Oh, okay. I'll PM him right now.
Well, I mean, his mods are on his arena team for the most part. There's some that are on some characters. I'm like, okay, well, no, that makes sense. Offense there. I
mean, his mods are on the right characters.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that
You can maybe redo some of it, but I mean, okay. So looking at it, your Revan has most of your higher end speed mods now. It's not every single one, but it looks like you have modded yourself for your best speed on Revan overall, without going into specifics. So it looks like your Revan is fine. You have your Grandmaster Yoda modded for offense with over 6,000 special damage. So you have a good thing there. If you wanted to on your Grandmaster Yoda, you could replace your arrow with a offense arrow, and you would probably be getting close to about 63, maybe even 6,400 with where your overall roster. Actually, you'd probably be even pushing even higher than that. You'd be probably getting close to 65, 6,600. So potentially, if you want to increase your damage on your Grandmaster Yoda, you can switch to an offense arrow instead of your speed arrow. But it looks like you're still trying to get some speed on the character, and that may be. You can go with speed on Grandmaster Yoda. There's nothing wrong with it. It does benefit him, but offense and more damage does help him more. And so you don't have a lot of secondary offense on these mods. So if you wanted to consider remodding Grandmaster Yoda, that would probably be what you would be looking at, which is going more secondary offense. Same with offense set, like you have it. Offense primaries on the right side, which would include the arrows. Just increase the offense and drop some speed. But that's kind of the general thing here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not seeing anything.
Let me see his Bastila. The Bastila is speed modded, has a little bit of potency, but I mean, that's fine. If you wanted to increase the potency on Bastila, that's fine, but again, nothing huge. So he's asking, you don't need speed for 3v3 Grand Arena on Grandmaster Yoda. So you can, but remember, what we want to do first is focus on your regular arena.
Yeah.
And so you can put some speed on Grandmaster Yoda, and he does need more speed for 3v3. So you're not incorrect there. For 3v3 purposes, because you don't have the full composition, you don't get the full benefit of the Revan lead because there's only 3 instead of 5, you can put speed on Grandmaster Yoda. But getting him to attack with crazy amounts of damage is typically what Grandmaster Yoda does. And so what I'm looking at right now isn't necessarily 3v3, but the fact that in Arena, you are in the top 20 instead of the top 10. So maybe if you want to hear, Joe, let us know what it is that you find as the difficulty in getting from top 20 to top 10? Like, is it just the attacks, or is it because of like difficulty of actually beating people with the Revan teams? Whatever it is, let us know, because what I'm looking at first is just how to improve your arena to get you back into the top 10 more consistently, rather than in the top 20, because you have the team obviously in order to do it. Triple Zeta Revan, you have the Zeta on, or triple Zeta Revan, the single Zeta on Grandmaster Yoda. You have Jolie, you have Bastila, you have Grandmaster Yoda. So that's what you're, that's essentially what you're pushing here, and so everything else is. So he said faster Revans kill you. Yeah. So that's essentially what you have to do, right? Your Grandmaster Yoda is going to need to do a lot more damage. You have to play around with it a little bit, but it's a lot about finding the strategy in terms of how you fight your Revans. Now, Grande has mentioned it before, right? The general strategy that you want to use is you kill Grandmaster Yoda, and then he will res with Revan. Then you can come back and kill Jolie, and then you can kill Yoda again. Because once you kill Yoda the first time, Jolie's not going to res. What you have to concern yourself about is obviously the taunt of General Kenobi. So you do need to watch out for that. What is the speed on your Revan? It looks like you have the right mods. You are 308 speed on your Revan, which is definitely respectable. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be the little bits and pieces modding that you have here. Let's take a look at your Jolie. Okay. So your Jolie, you're running a health set, which is fine. What you may want to consider is a crit avoidance arrow. And it's not necessarily just for the crit avoidance itself, which he can get from General Kenobi and all of that, right? But what it really is that he can turn his crit avoidance into tenacity. And so you can now make it so your Jolie is basically not getting... it's the other... I'm doing it the other way around. He gets crit immunity anyways, so if you do crit immunity, it's fine. And then if you increase his tenacity, he will basically become crit immune even when he doesn't have the crit buff from General Kenobi. And so you can definitely make it so that his crit avoidance is damn near 100%. It would be really, really, really strong. It makes it so that he can't get any of the debuffs. And he just doesn't, he'll be very difficult to kill overall. But you have him modded fine. I think what it may be, and we would have to watch as you kill something, is what you are doing for your strategy in order to beat it.
Yeah.
Because you have the team, and we've had people asking about the mirror matches and stuff, and sometimes there is some RNG associated with it, but for the most part, it is your strategy on the kill and who you kill, and the general idea of Grandmaster Yoda first, because he's the weakest and easiest to force to get Revan to force his res on, and then killing Jolie is the typical strategy. But we would have to see a little bit more, I think, on what exactly is going on in your battle. I don't know if you have the ability to record your battle or something, Joe, and then if you want to send that to me, we can definitely do that afterwards. Because I want to make sure we're helping what the kind of the root cause is, and if the root cause is beating Revans, then we'll want to see your attack and kind of go through that point. Because your modding and everything looks fine. Like little
I'm not seeing anything.
Probably
yeah,
won't change much.
I'm really not. I mean, mirror matches are they're a pain, but there's things you can do. I know Mike puts Chewbacca in his climb when he's doing with his Revan team. I know Hideous uses Hermit Yoda and focuses down certain characters. So there are strategies out there that you can do. I mean, it comes down to modding, but if another character can be put in there to help, it can. I'm not doing that because I'm okay with the Revan team that I have. My Revan's really, really fast, so I'm outspeeding most of these guys that I'm facing. So I'm going first, and it's like, wee.
Another thing too. Sorry, another thing too is like if you can focus down their Revan, even if your Revan's slower. If you get their Revan off the board and then focus down Jolie, that's the most effective strategy for me personally. And if you can put a little bit of extra flat and percentage health on Jolie, give him some protection on the primary stats, then make him more survivable. So he's regaining that health and protection out of turn a lot. Then you'll have a lot more of a better chance beating faster Revens on your shard.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that's really what he
Going
wants.
through his fleet.
I mean,
I'm looking at it, I'm not seeing any real issues at all.
It's done a great job with all his ships.
His pilots are pretty much gear 12. He has some gear 11s with his Phoenix. But I mean, it's Phoenix. They're gear grind, and I don't blame him for having gear 11.
No.
I mean, improving your Ghost is probably the thing that would help you the most in fleet. But that requires you to take your Kanan to gear 11, who's currently at gear 9, and take your Zeb to gear 11, who is at gear 8, I think, right now. So those would probably be the two things that would really help you. I'm trying to go through your mods really quick. You seem to have 5 level 15 mods on them. Yeah, I'm just seeing 5 you have a 4 arrow on Kanan. Make sure all of your pilots have 5 mods on them that are level 15. So I just saw a Kanan arrow that was 4 so you'll want to change that. Han is fine. Chewie is fine.
Another thing that he
yeah, let me look at his Akbar too.
Another one that could help him out is working on his Rogue One for Cassian's Ewing.
Well, I would focus on his.
Got the Gear 9 K2SO and.
Yeah, I would worry about your starting lineup though before I worry about your reinforcements. And he has good catch there, Xylo. He has a Gear 9 Akbar, and he's trying to run that as a capital ship. That's going to be too slow. So you definitely need to improve the gear on your Akbar if you're going to be running that with the Rebel team. That has to go up. You're going to want, again, your starting lineup with your Ghost, because your Ghost has to kind of survive for the Phoenix Ghost thing to really kind of work together. Your starting lineup definitely needs to be your first priority, preferably with 6E mods. With where you're at 4 million, 6E is fine, but that's what you'll want to do. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some more slicing you need to do with some of those purple and blues I saw, but I mean, keep slicing your mods, see what you get.
Well, generally, too, most people by now have sliced Thrawn up all the way, right? So you could create a loadout for Thrawn, and then when you start your fleet climb, you swap the mods over to Akbar. So he's got all 6Es, and it gives you some speed, but you need to get him up to gear 12. But his gear's not too bad, too, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you can definitely do that. You might drop a little bit, but then you'll be able to climb a little bit easier. And then you can just put regular 5 mods on your Akbar or something. But I think your Akbar is going to be the main thing. Get your Akbar to gear 12. He's a capital ship pilot. You have to get him to gear 12. It's the unfortunate thing. The capital ship speed is huge because the capital ship abilities can be game-changing, whoever goes first and all of that. So get your Akbar geared up first. And then if you want to take your Kanan and Zeb to gear 11, that'll help your Ghost survival. And then you can focus on your reinforcements like Cassian, who's a good reinforcement anyways to bring in. And I don't know if you're bringing him in as a reinforcement, but especially with the whole Millennium Falcon, Grim is right that Cassian's is a great ship to bring in as a reinforcement. And you worked on most of your Rogue One. You have a gear 12 Jin, a gear 11 Cassian. You can work on your K2SO, who's currently at gear 9. You can get him to gear 11. And your Cassian would also be a big.
Yeah, and then that'll allow him to finish off the skills for Cassian's Ewing.
Yeah.
Make it a lot more survivable and give it some more damage output when you're calling it off the bench. That assist mechanic with the Falcon is amazing.
It's ridiculous.
And my Cassian's only a gear 9, and it's still a really good ship. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that would be, unless you see something else, Grim. I mean that's all I'm seeing with your ships. You've done a good job with your ships. You're at the point now where you're tweaking in order to get into the top. So
and where you're at, it's the tweaking that's going to make the difference. It really is. I mean, when all else is
fine tuning your current one.
You know, so I mean.
And one more thing too, like Finn mentioned about the mods. So the Phoenix squad's a little under geared. putting some purple or gold mods on them, just that little extra power creep makes the difference as well.
All right, and he also wants us to look at his territory war teams, especially his scoundrels. He said he's very proud of his scoundrels. So let's take a look at his scoundrels.
Ooh, I bet he's got a good mission in Big
I
Z if
do
he's
like
got
the
good scoundrels.
He has good scoundrels. Very nice scoundrels. He is golded up the wazoo with scoundrels.
The
Nicely
wazoo,
done.
Up the wazoo.
like
All the way up
Gamguard.
the wazoo. Not just up any wazoo, the wazoo. He is
Gamguard, Clone Wars Chewie.
No. He doesn't have everything. He,
Oh, okay.
he didn't go crazy. He's not crazy. He has the good ones. So he has Bosk, Boba, Enfys, Chewie, Kira, Han, Zalbar, Mission, L3 Vendor, Jango, Dengar, Cad Bane, 88, Canderous, Young Han, and Young Lando. All geared.
Nice.
He has all the solo tunes geared 12.
Mm-hmm. He has all
That's
the solo
awesome.
Well done.
the old
Well
Republic
done.
scoundrels. It's awesome. You should be very proud of your scoundrels. Those are really nice
Hey,
scoundrels.
look at it this way: when CG goes, surprise! Here's Beckett. You're more than likely ready.
Yeah, you can just go in there and push auto.
Be all surprised! I have all gear 12.
Surprise, mother.
I bet he loves that Lando's hot hand too, man. That's a really fun team. So
Young Lando, man, is awesome.
So good job there. If we look at just all of your teams in general, if you want to look at your territory war teams, let's see.
Real quick too. Another thing, since he just said that we got Lando and L3 at Gear 12 for ships, has he worked on Lando's Falcon?
Oh yeah, his Lando's Falcon is already there.
7-star.
I'm pretty sure it's one of his reinforcements.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great ship there too for your climb.
All right.
Yeah, this is a nice roster, man.
Sick roster.
I mean, you have so many Gear 12s that you have the depth in pretty much every faction right now. You have the Jedi, you have the Sith, you have enough for a secondary Jedi too.
Oh, I do see one he can work on.
Cup.
3PO.
He does have.
He has a 5-star level 1 gear 1 3PO.
Let's take a look at
3PO
it.
is viable at 5 stars.
Send a little
He does
work on
have
Ewok.
7-star Ewoks. So he has all except Chirpa at 7 stars as Ewok. So I would work on Chirpa. It makes your life easier. And then work on the gear for the ones that would be used if you had Chirpa. So it would be Logray, Elder, Wicket, and Paplu. Work on those 4. If the next time C-3PO comes out and you don't have Chirpa, you can throw in your Tebow lead and still be able to do a fairly good push with them with the way that you're gearing and stuff. I mean, I imagine you'll take these to gear 12. They're all pretty solid characters. If you're running Tebow, you don't necessarily need any Zeta. So you could run the Tebow lead with that team and basically push for the C-3PO. So you've done out there.
I can't understand why he hasn't leveled him up or geared him. I mean, looking at his roster, he's not going for fluff and gearing and leveling up a 5-star.
He may have been working on them now or
bit.
focused on a different faction or something in the meantime.
Probably like the Solo and the Scoundrels, and
I'm actually thinking he
can't blame him.
To Phoenix for ships.
That's right.
Because
My
it does show
apprentice.
that previously he was running like the endurance team with Umbaran and Xanadu Blood and stuff. So it looks like the change to the Rebels was recent. So I think he is probably changing to Rebels and is working on Phoenix. That'd be my guess. You can let me know if I'm wrong or not, Joe. But considering where his Phoenix are, they're kind of a little bit mixed right now with some Gear 11, some Gear 10, and all that. I'm guessing he's working on the Phoenix, which is fine. It's helping. It's going to help him in ship, so no issue there. And then work on Ewoks next.
Makes sense.
All right. So thank you for letting us look at your roster, SD Joe. If you have any more questions, then please get with us in our Discord. We'd be more glad to help you with any questions you might have.
And overall, if there's something specific you want us to look at with your mods, I mean, we looked at your mods and you're doing fairly well. You do have some mods that you need to work on, right? You can try and 6C some of your starting lineup. That'll help you, especially want to work on your Akbar and get him 6C'd. He's going to be one of your top priorities, especially if you're running him in fleet. And so you don't have 6E stuck on him. You can switch out when you're doing your arena climb and then switch back or something. But
All right. That being said, if you would like a roster review, all you need to do is send your GG page to Dr. Finn. He will respond. Make sure he does respond, and then we will add you to the queue. And when your time comes, we'll let you know ahead of time so you can watch it live or whenever you can watch it. That being said, we don't have trivia today, right? You didn't have anything, Stanley?
No, because I did it on Monday.
Okay.
get on my screen. They can watch me play Anthem.
Shut up, Finn.
I'm playing Anthem.
Guys, Finn's playing Anthem.
Yeah, I know.
All
You
right.
didn't know I'm playing Anthem. I'm excited because it's the open demo today, and I played it in the alpha, and it was super fun. So I'm really hoping that they fix some of the issues, and it's going to be an awesome game. I'm really
Did you actually
graphics
get
look really
past the loading screen? Because that's the first boss.
in Anthem? Yeah, I'm playing right now. I'm hopping
The
into my
graphics
Java.
look good.
So let's get to the questions. Finn, go. Here's some crayons. Go play Anthem.
I'm playing Anthem. You can share it on the screen.
I'm
Though.
not sharing anything on the screen, Finn,
Why?
because I'm sharing Star Wars Galaxy Heroes crap.
Share Anthem.
No,
Why?
because I don't want to.
Please?
You're not the boss of me.
I didn't say I was. I've
Do
never
the-
said anything about
Do the
being
Ewok
boss.
event. I gotta kill these stormtroopers.
You don't know me.
Passing up.
Hashtag Ewok lives matter.
Jesus.
All right, let's get to some questions.
Tangent Revolution questioned yesterday. You were speculating what the HK-47 quote in the road ahead was hinting at. That previous Discord leak has come true so far, and it said the end of the month would be Darth Revan, and that you would need HK-47 to unlock him along with the new Old Republic characters. Considering his previous leak all came true, now isn't it possible?
Nope.
No,
I still
because
don't think it-
because they
okay,
said
it's
they're not doing
possible.
Sith month. They can't sit there and go, we're gonna do. There's not a Sith month anymore. We're gonna do all this stuff with the droids and stuff and all these reworks and everything else.
They could.
They could, but I'm
The
going to
point is
rant
it's
like I've never
possible.
ranted before. Because if you sit there and say we're not doing something for the month, and then end of the month they go,
I don't think
here's
they said they weren't going to do it. I think they said they were changing it up.
Yeah.
right, but that's very misleading, and that's just
When
that's
have they not been? They intentionally
Yeah.
are misleading.
it's true. But I'm going to be like, I'm gonna rip them a new one for that because that's garbage.
I could
Well,
see
they
it at
s-
the end of the month, though. I could see it.
I can see them still dropping a Sith, doing the Separatists and stuff next month, and then dropping Darkside Revan, in like for celebration. But end of the month for Darth Revan, I seriously doubt it.
I don't see it.
It still could be Malik as opposed to Revan, right?
I mean, it still could be, but I mean,
I just don't see it being Revan.
no,
I
I don't
see
think
it
it's really Revan at all.
being a Sith of some sort.
The only reason why I think it's going to come as early as this is because they highlighted the ancient journeys for one in the post, and then for two, we haven't had a continuation of a journey yet. So instead of doing it when the second movie comes out or the third movie comes out for the trilogy at the end of the year, this kind of paves the path for how they're going to proceed on with the journey events.
Come on, Finn.
I'm playing Anthem.
Shut up, Finn.
I'm shooting things. I shouldn't be shooting things. I'm wasting my ammo.
Kane77 question: what's going on with the Game Changers? Warrior, Cubs fan Han, and Arnold are going off on CG.
Okay.
I posted
I-
a link to the Reddit post in the Zoom chat.
I mean, we don't know anything more than you guys do, but if you guys have read what is going on, here is kind of the overall thing. Carrie posted yesterday the road ahead, right? And there was the Grievous post, the Grievous rework part of it. And previously, she had said like Arnold would be the first one to know if there's a Grievous rework and all of this kind of stuff. Well, there's a little bit of a question on whether or not Arnold knew, because Perry is saying that Arnold was told on the 30th that there was a Grievous rework, but it seems like he wasn't told the date, just that there was a Grievous rework, not particularly when. And so, as a result of that, this thing came out yesterday, and apparently none of the game changers were aware that the road ahead was being posted, nor the Grievous rework. And so a lot of them were making videos very quick at the end. And so that's why they're all kind of upset, because it feels like the game changers are not getting any kind of communication whatsoever from CG when these things are coming down. And let's be honest, the game changers are pretty much the promotion arm of Galaxy of Heroes for CG. They don't really do much promotion videos themselves. They do a lot through YouTube and all of these kind of stuff. They have some base things that they put out, but it really is the game changers that are putting out the content and trying to do the first releases and reviewing characters and all of that. And so right now there's a little bit of a, I don't know if distrust is the word. I'll let the game changers say that if they want. I think some of them have come very close to saying that, but there's a lot of questions about what is happening between CG and the game changers, and it's not something new. It's something that's been happening for a while now, and this is just kind of the last thing that's
well, I wouldn't put it so much on CG, because the game changer program isn't CG, it's EA. It's a whole different demon right there.
Yeah, Arnold said something about that there's some kind of reason why the test accounts were taken away from them, but didn't elaborate into why.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Tangent Revolution. Question for Ranger. Did you get time to figure out Revan yesterday? Did it help you in Arena?
Yeah. You can see I'm 14 right now. I'm waiting for time because I let these guys, they're ahead of the payouts to get their payouts, and then I'll go do some more climbing. But oh yeah, I figured it out. It takes a little while, but you attack certain ones and do it in a certain order, and there you go. So it took me a minute or a couple times to play with it a little bit and be like, right, okay, gotcha. So yeah.
Aw, Ranger's being courteous to his shard mates.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what you're supposed to do.
Instead of being, I got Revan, bitches, move out of the way.
It makes my life easier. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and screw them. They don't do that to me. I don't do it to them. You know.
It was funny because I was testing out the 3PO CLS lead team, right? And overnight I didn't pay attention to it, and I had dropped to like 44, and I had to climb the last hour before my payout from like 44 to 1 in like an hour. I was like, oh my god, scrambling everywhere. Everybody's got Revan now.
Yeah. I mean, I think I dropped to like 23 or something. But that's because it's all Revans. So, and some other teams.
I go in there and I'm like, oh man, I left that CLS team and I'm almost like a rank 50. And I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, right now my arena is oops, all Revans.
Sounds about right. And then you'll see a lot of those CLS teams, popping up because they're so much easier on defense now than Treya. And those people who miss out on Revan will still be climbing with those for sure.
Yeah.
Tangent Revolution. Question for Finn. What is better than a Porg on Friday? 2 Porgs on Friday.
Porg!
Matt Bailey. Question. What is your position on slicing green mods with a single speed secondary of 5?
Yes.
No.
I've been doing it.
Yeah.
Nope. I slice them at least once to see if
I'll
if they
slice.
Don't, then I ditch them.
There you go. If you level them up, they got 5. Slice them, see what you get.
Yeah, I don't bother with greens with the 1. If it's a green 2 that's like 8 or 9, then I will, but I'm not going to do a green that has a 5.
It doesn't cost any credits. I do it. I'm with Grim on that. See what you get, because you might get a pretty solid mod out of it. But if it goes blue and it doesn't get anything, then you're pretty much like, no.
Even when it's a blue, it's going to be like a blue 10 or something, and that's really low for a blue.
Well,
For the blues, I'm looking for at least like 12 or 13. There's
Well,
no way you're
Yeah.
5 showing on a green.
I'll still take a 10 because you got more than just your arena stuff that you got to use.
Yeah, I have 200 plus 10. So it depends on where you are too. For me, it does me no.
Yeah,
no
I think
benefit.
you should until.
Yeah, I was gonna say unless you have like 415 plus mods like Finity, slicing the greens
Alright.
at 5, it's worth it.
I'm playing Anthem.
Shut up, Finn. I swear I'll mute you.
Well, that's where I'm at too myself. I mean, I'm looking for those greens that go anywhere from 5 up, right? Because you can see, 8s or 10s, like Finn was saying. The slicing can roll up 6 now, so it's like, hey, you can end up with like a blue with 10, 15, even 16. So
Yeah, like I'm desperate for getting better mods, man. So much that I've been actually leveling up grays to see if they get a speed slot on it. If they get a 5, then I slice it up and see if it rolls.
same,
It's like,
yeah.
ugh,
Even
I
the
need
grays,
more
yeah.
mods.
Yeah, I feel like I've sliced all of my purples at this point, and everything's blue and green and gray now.
Nathaniel Morgan, question, thoughts on game changer drama? Is it time to just scrap it and restore balance to the force? Also, do you think CG took the accounts away because they wouldn't shill for CG?
I have no idea why.
I mean, I do have some insight. It's not my place to talk about it, so I'm not going to. I'll just leave it at that. But there's a lot going on in the background. So
It's all a bunch of politics and stuff like that.
there's a lot of stuff going on, and it doesn't. Listen, we're not game changers. We're not in the game changer program. We know all the game changers for the most part, and we talk to those guys, and I do, and have some insight of what's going on. But it has, that's between them and EA. We're not a game changer. We don't have the direct information of what's happening. So, I mean, the drama is between them and the company. It's not between us or them or the company. I mean, that's why I love being independent. We can just sit back and watch. Finn, give me some popcorn.
I'm playing Anthem.
What did I tell you? Okay, you're out of time. I'm muting you. I'm sick of this. I am so
You're
sick of
going
this.
to get your popcorn.
No,
I can't.
No, you said Anthem. What did I tell you, Finn?
You told me to get your popcorn, and I said I'm playing Anthem.
All right, everyone, Finn's on a 5-minute mute. I just muted him.
I mean, that's the best part is like, all this aside, whatever's going on between the game changers and EA or CG or whatever it's between, that it doesn't affect us, right? So we can just continue on about our day.
Yeah. All right.
Billy Thomas. Sorry. Question: do you think this GG/Separatist rework will be another resource drain before Darth Revan? Seems like this could be another Chewbacca scenario.
I still don't
Yeah.
think Revan is coming.
I don't either.
Chewbacca 2.0.
Too
I
soon.
totally think it is.
I see it being a resource drain, but I don't see it being a resource drain for Revan.
I mean, don't spend your resources until you know for sure. Even with Grievous getting the rework,
Right.
I could take mine to 10 right now and higher. I'm not going to. All my droids are done. I'm going to wait and see what happens. I'm on horde. I'm in total horde mode again. I am hoarding everything again, just like I did for Revan. So I'm going to work on the characters, that I can get them up there and see what happens. I'm just in farm mode right now, and I'm going to have all the solo characters done by the end of the month, and I'll have Basil at least 5-star, and some of the Old Republic at least 5-star, so I have a decent idea of what's happening, and make a decision there. But other than that, I'm not going to invest into the droids until I know for sure that it's a solid investment worth doing. Just because they say they're going to rework doesn't mean that the rework's going to be great. We've had instances in the past where the reworks didn't come out great. Now, lately, the track record's been really good, but you never know. So, I mean, don't just guys, just relax. Collect your stuff, stay on target. Let us look at the stuff, and we'll tell you. And that's all you need to know.
Let us take one for the team
That's
for you.
right, damn it.
See, I think the one thing that kind of bummed me out, right? Like, let's say like we go back a few months when the solo characters came out, and then that big pack came out, like with the what was it, $55-$60 pack, right? All the 55 shards for the solo characters, including Nest. We thought, okay, we're getting that legendary for sure. These characters are going to be a legendary, and then it never happened, right? So I mean, like everybody's kind of assuming the same thing with the second round of KOTOR characters. I'd be kind of bummed if they're not required for anything, right? I mean, like
Well, they may be in
rolled
the
them out and
future,
then
but not
jangled
immediate.
them in front of us.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
But yeah, hopefully.
maybe not in February, maybe March or April. Maybe in April they bring
Yeah.
in Darth Revan, and you need those characters, right? You know,
Yeah,
for
that would be
Malik,
better
not
for the
Revan, but for
community, too.
Malik. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, I think they're going to hang on for as long as they can, like Darth Revan, Jedi Luke. I mean, some of these big name characters. You know, we may see only one or two, at the most two this year. You know, as they're big money makers, so they're going to split it up. If they do two, they may just do one. You know, because you got the new movie coming out this year. You know, so end of October, sort of November into December. That's going to be their last quarter of their profits. So that's really 9 months. We already have 1 month off January. We're into February, which you kind of know is Grievous and stuff is coming up. So really 7 months. I'd say we get one character. I wouldn't shock me if we get one character and that's it.
Yeah, and if it is Malik, which I'm kind of hoping they do Malik before Darth Revan, it would make more sense, right?
It makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a gear check legendary for Malik. Like that would be fun. The KOTOR characters are really fun, so we'll see.
Finally.
Fimok, can someone tell me how to record in-game battles?
So you can do it. It depends on your phone. So the new iOS and stuff has an option where you can turn on screen recording. I don't know how you do it on Android. I know iOS you can do it through screen recording, and if you do it on an emulator, most of the emulators have a record option on them. I don't know what device he's on.
Jason Shimozak. Question: I unlocked Revan. Should I toss all the gear on him or hold out for next meta?
No.
Put the gear on him.
Yeah, gear him. Don't keep that great character just sitting there at level 1.
Yeah, even if they come out with a new meta character, that's not going to totally invalidate the fact that Revan is still awesome.
And ask yourself this question: with everything they said in the post, right? Do you have B2 at Gear 12? Do you have B1 at Gear 12? I mean, if they suddenly come out with a Grievous, are you looking at just one character you need to gear, or are you going to have like multiple characters you're going to need to gear?
Yeah, like the Falcon.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, I liked what you said last night too, Finn, on the stream. Even if Revan does beat, or I'm sorry, Grievous does beat Revan, it's not to say that it's going to hold on defense like the other teams that have been countered so far, right? I mean, Revan's such a great character, and you don't even need to slap that whole team together. Like if you have Hermiota for Jolie, or Ezra for Bastila, there's so many substitutions. So.
Well, not to mention we don't even know what the kits for these characters are going to be.
Mm-hmm. And B1's not even in the game yet, so you don't even have the opportunity to work on him, and he's going to be behind a paywall.
I mean, you might, be saving all this stuff for him and be, wow, why didn't I gear up my Revan, start getting a crystal inflow while I was waiting for these new tunes that ended up having crappy kits?
Exactly.
Decepticons. Question: I have all droids except B2 at 7 stars. Do I stick with farming Ordo, which is at 13 out of 65, or move to B2, which is at 20 out of 85?
Stay on target.
Yeah, Ordo.
Nathaniel Morgan. Question: does anyone else feel Revan is a letdown? Maybe because I could already beat him because of imminent meta change. He's worse against other Revans. Great territory war team, but overall kind of meh.
Not for me.
He's still the dominant team in Arena for a reason.
Yes, he is.
There can be counters to him, but the other ones don't last as well on defense, and so he's still the best overall team right now.
He is.
Yeah, I can see what he's saying though. Like he feels like he's gotten somebody's like used handkerchief, right? Like it's been out and it's old to him because he's been playing against it for so long. So, but now he's having a hard time following along with the crowd.
Nicolau Nerio. Question: am I mad? Absolutely insane for taking Grievous to Gear 12 and Plus Ultra?
Not if you like him.
Yeah.
Depends where your roster's at too. Like if you got the flexibility to do that and that's what you want to do, go for it. You got all the legendaries and the pillar stuff, and yeah.
I mean, you're not the only one that's already done Grievous at Gear 12 too early, but some people like Grievous. So if you do it for a purpose, I mean, that's fine. He just hasn't been very usable lately, and so hopefully you'll be able to get a use out of him now.
Yeah, there's a lot of droid fans in the game, and there's one even in my shard to this day. Well, now that he's got Revan, he doesn't anymore, but he was using JTR and droid team for the longest, so.
Top ARPA. Question: can a 3-star Gear 11 nest under Kira lead beat a Bastila team?
There's a lot of RNG in that one because depending on who, if they're using Grandmaster Yoda starred nest.
Yeah, it was Grandmaster Yoda, especially if he's modded for offense, can one-shot her.
Mm-hmm.
You should have to have a lot of tenacity and a lot of health, but even then, you can still get a one-shot. So,
Darth Hideous. Question for Ranger: can we fire Finn?
No, I can't get rid of him. It's in his contract.
we love Finn. It's a love-hate relationship. Love-hate. Love.
Contingent 33. Question: is the target still Darkside KOTOR?
I don't know.
I would still work on him. I mean, we know that they typically do something with the new characters that come in, right? So it is probably a good idea to work on Canderous and to work on Fallen Bastila. We don't know what else is going to come, but I would work on Juhani and again, assuming you don't have any of the pillars or anything else specific you're going to work on. Work with a purpose. If your purpose is to try and figure out what the next thing is, then do that. But if you still have other stuff in the game, then don't worry about it.
I mean, for me, I'm farming Jango, Zalbar, Young Lando, Vandor, Bastila, L3, and Canderous. So when the other two pop in, I'll throw them in as well. You know, just to add them to the farm. So we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of different directions with L3 being in there. My apprentice, why is your father not dead? That's unacceptable. What did I
trying to
tell
get him
you
to do it a
about?
minute ago.
Alright, my apprentice. Take your lightsaber and stick it in his arm.
But yeah, back on the question, we say it every single stream that we do. Stay on target. Don't get sidetracked by the shinies.
Yeah.
Because you'll regret it most of the time.
Yeah, then you're just going to have a bunch of half-finished teams, and it's not going to help you out.
No.
Exactly.
Elliot Whirlsfold. Question: approximately how fast should Grandmaster Yoda be?
It's not about speed, it's about offense.
Over 6,000 damage.
Yeah. As long as your offense is over 6,000. Yeah. I mean, if mine's over 6,000, if that's what you want. I've got speed on there, but that's secondary concern as offense is more the primary concern. You know, so, and as I get offensive mods I'll be looking at that I'm kind of slicing working on right now, if they're better than what I've got, I'm going to put them on there. If I lose speed, I don't care. I want Yoda hitting as hard as possible because it's not about speed with him. You know, the speed character you need to worry about is Revan. You know, so if your Revan goes first, then your little green frog is going to get turned all kinds of stuff, you know, with using his assistant basic, and then he's going to keep going, and then that's all you need. It doesn't matter after that.
Yeah, I found the fastest offense arrow that I had, like offense primary, secondary stats, and it only has like 10 speed, but it's worth that 6E for the offense. So it just doesn't matter about the speed.
Sean, question: can you add a donation challenge where we can watch Ranger beat Finity in Orlando?
We're not going to be competitive with that. It's more about just getting it
No,
done.
he means physically beat.
Oh, physically beat him
Yeah,
up?
because
Oh,
I'm
well,
playing
I mean,
Anthem, so.
I mean,
What, in an LTC no holds barred match? Ladders, tables, and chairs.
you know, yeah. I mean,
Kazakagi, too easy. Question: is Revan at Gear 9 good for Heroic Sith Raid? He has 2 Zetas, need few more purples for 3rd Zeta.
Yeah, a friend of mine
okay.
did it yesterday at Gear 5 and did just as much with his Basilisk Gear 12. He did 6 mil with Gear 5 Revan.
And it's so easy
Gear
to
5,
do.
Revan? Really? Damn.
Yeah, Gear 5.
Nathaniel Morgan, question: why would CG tell us to save guild event currency? This seems against what they normally do. Will the next character cost double to compensate the fact that we all saved?
They didn't say to save it. They just said they would be introducing characters into shops like Wampa and Hermit Yoda. They could just as easily introduce a new currency and create another shop. There's already 2 shops in game that don't have a place somewhere in the cantina, right? There's no way to get to the mod store outside of going through the stores. And the guild event one, you kind of have to go through in a weird way. Although you can potentially, you have to go into the guild events and then eventually get to the shop. And then the weekly shipments, you can only get through going through the tabs anyways. So it is possible they'll just introduce another one that you have to keep track of. So, I mean, I still think there will be another character coming into guild event tokens, but a lot of people are focusing on gear 12 characters right now too. So it's up to you. Do you gear 12 characters to improve in Grand Arena and Territory Wars, or do you save for a potential new character like a Midriff Admin?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm finishing up Hermit Yoda and Wampa to 7 stars, and then I will save just to be on the safe side.
Hogzilla, question: in a First Order team with crew, Kylo, First Order Stormtrooper, First Order TIE Pilot, and First Order Officer, who should First Order Officer give the turn meter to?
I'd say regular masked Kylo.
I actually like unmasked Kylo.
I give it to
It also depends on what team you're fighting against too.
Or which one's faster, if your crew's faster than your mask. I'd say mask Kylo, though, just because he fills the turn meter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Throw it to mask Kylo, have him do his temper tantrum, and then and then more than likely that'll fill up unmasked Kylo's.
Yeah, they both work. I like the unmasked Kylo because it gets me the stun and the taunt off the bat.
Good point.
Yeah, then you can
That's why I
manipulate the other side of the board. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you can stun also with his mask Kylo as well, right? Because his outrage also does it, but you wouldn't use lash out. You would do his outrage.
Yeah, the AoE. Mm-hmm. Well, like, perfect example, Finn's got one of the healthiest crews in the game, so his crew going more gives him more of an advantage, right? And I mean, mine's fast. I got mine at like 249 before the lead effect, and I still like giving it to the mask Kylo, but the defense may prioritize the difference. So
yeah, so it kind of depends on your build, how you want to play it. It doesn't necessarily matter. It would be one of the 2 Kylos though in order to get the stun. I'll say that way. Well, you want one of the 2 in order to get the stun. I like mask Kylo. Unmasked Kylo for his stun. Both of them have it. I know unmasked Kylo is pre-taunts and everything anyways, but I still like the additional taunt and all that.
yeah, his 2-turn stun is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Darth Cyan 1972 questioned the panel's opinions on the road ahead, more specifically about the change to how cadences are released. Is this CG's way of acknowledging the way they initially dropped Revan was not good?
They didn't say all the cadences were released, right? It was just the Emperor Palpatine ship, or did I miss?
Yeah,
something?
just a Palpatine ship, but they said they were going to try to mix it up with some of the other things too, with Marquis doing a mixture of things and stuff like that. I don't think they've ever said that they were wrong for what they did with Revan.
Mm-mm.
You know, so
Yeah, they
I
don't
think they're just being more.
apologize.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're being more cautious about how they're presenting the next event for sure.
You know, if the perception is reality, they can spin it however they want. But what they did with Revan with that timetable, and they did that in the past. It creates more harm than it does good. You
Yeah,
can't
especially when it's so spontaneous, right?
right. Right after the Chewbacca event, people spent a lot of stuff, and the characters had just become free to play farm, and all of a sudden you drop Revan. It's like, oh.
Well, yeah, the dropping Revan and him being a massive change to the meta of the game, and then be like, "I'll pay us money or lose your arena."
They lost a lot of people from that.
lot of
They've picked up new players, but they lost a lot of old players. Because
they lost a lot of players over it, and they lost a lot of reviews over it.
Yeah.
Like the same day that happened, oh man, the 1-star reviews on the Play Store came in like a flood.
So I think, but CG, I give them credit for this, is they do look at the data. They're not dumb. They are exceptionally good at looking at the data and seeing with, and they talked about that in the Road Ahead post. We're looking at the data and the feedback and everything else. And for the most part, the Road Ahead map, I gave that an A+. There was a ton of quality of life and other changes in there that were really, really needed and good and shows that they are listening, right? I think about how they go about making money. They're thinking about how can we make the money that we're making, but do it in a way that is not so burdensome to the player base. And I think that's one thing that they're considering. They still got to make money, and I totally get it. But how you go about that in a gaming community, right? Because if you don't have players spending money, your game's going to die. So you can't, how you present the opportunities for players to spend. If they feel like it's just like I have to spend or I can't play, they're going to go to another game, and they can't have that. It's a balancing act. It's a tough balancing act, and they do it well. I mean, this game's been rated in the top 2-3 games for a while. There's a reason why, just for sheer volume of people playing the game. It's got the Star Wars brand and LucasArts brand to it, so people are going to check it out, Star Wars fans, and they're getting a lot of influx of new players. We know because we're seeing a ton of them asking for Ross reviews. I mean, it's happening, and with the movie coming out this year, it's going to bring in more fans. So it's about a balancing act of keeping those current players and players that have been with them a long time. Customer loyalty is important too. You've got to keep your player base satisfied. That's the reason why World of Warcraft has done so well for so long. They did that with their fans didn't mind shilling over cash. Why? Because they got their money's worth, so they didn't mind forking over money.
Right.
So
well, and also they can't always make the right decisions. If there's only so much you can do with the data. You have to get people feedback on the stuff. Hence, probably why that they did. With the territory wars, if there's only so much the data could tell you, let's see what the player base thinks about it. And yeah, let's not do the banning characters ever again. But people did like how we did these buffs, that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's the stuff you learn from, and you get better at it. If they do another, in my opinion, if they do another huge cash grab like they did before with the major character, with no kind of sense of there's a possibility for players that are like Dolphins, Minnows to even have a chance at it, it's going to have a huge impact on the game. And I think it's going to really, really cause a lot of people to leave. more than last time. So I think they're learning. Hopefully they're learning from that. You know, I do understand they have to create a sensation of, you know, the way you create money is create buzz. You know, if people are close to getting it, like say you have a bunch of characters, it is a 7-star event, you have a lot of people that have 6 stars, they'll make that investment to get the 7 stars. That's where you're going to make your money. But if you bring it out where they got them at 3 or 4, and it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars, most people are going to be turned off and be like, no, I'm not doing this, you know, and not spend anything, and like, I'll get it next time if I don't quit the game outright, you know, because it so turns me off to the game. So it's a tough act. It's a tough balancing act. I mean, you guys don't worry. I will hold their feet to the fire on that. But, you know, they do have to make money. So if they go about it smartly, I've invested in this game lots and lots of money. Because there's been times that they've done it right where I'm like, I am going to buy that. That is really smart. And then there's times where they've done like throw on a rev, I'm like, you son of a... So I mean, but you have to give credit. I always say this: I give credit to CG when they do it right, and I destroy them when they get it wrong. Whether they want to hear it or not, I'm going to give them a unvarnished, in your face, deal with it response. Because my view of the game is one as a player, but as a representative of the community. You know, I get feedback from you guys, every day I wake up, I got tons of messages in Discord. And so my feedback is something that is just being transferred from what you guys are saying to them, and then my own feelings on it. So we'll see what happens. I'll be very upset if they do pull some crap like that. If this month, with everything they had on the road ahead, is about Grievous and all this other wonderful stuff they're doing, they're going to take away from it hugely. No one's going to care if they do another thing like they did with Revan. It'll take all that goodwill that they just got from this post and flush it down the toilet. Now, if they set something up for March, give like 3 or 4 weeks for release of the other 2 Old Republic characters, whatever they do, as long as there's been a timeline to where you had a reasonable time to work on some of these characters to a point, and maybe you had to spend a little bit of money to get to the end, I'm not going to say anything, because like, yeah, that's a business model. I can get that. But if it's like we get them 10 days before the event comes out, I'm going to be like, really? Again? Panic Farm? That's your business strategy? If we put pressure on it? And the problem is the community, a lot of people will do that, and they'll participate, and they'll spend hundreds of dollars. You know, that's why I say, if you want it to stop, you got to stop making investment when they do stuff like that. Don't stop investing in the game, but for those specific things, don't invest. Because if they look at their data and it says, this is successful, regardless of how many times the feedback has been awful, they're going to keep doing it. You know, they got to make money at the end of the day. They got, you know, so my thoughts.
Yeah. It's really hard to, like Ranger said, to appeal, you know, to both crowds too, right? Like you got the whales and then you got the free-to-play players, and of course there's casual people in between. But, you know, ultimately when a new character like that rolls out, it's all about how you approach it and how you present it to us, right? So that's the most important.
Ziglet, question: what is the best way to learn how to mod characters?
Grande.
Yeah, flash the mod signal in our Discord, and Grande will appear.
Tag him at Grande too, Grande Patron.
We're going to be working on some mod videos. One of the things that we got from the Wednesday night feedback is that they want more shorter videos, like mods, characters, things of that nature. So we're going to start doing that for you guys. So
yeah, we'll make some short ones, and we'll do some stuff for our Patreons too. We're going to update the Patreon benefits for everyone as well. And so one of the things will be some mod workshops that we'll do with the Patreons as well. So.
Yeah, that's something that's been requested, which we'll talk about after we
Awesome.
do this show.
Paul Bracamonte, question: what's your Revan strategy for territory wars? Save for offense, put them on defense. Is there a good counter?
Every guild's different. I can't
Revan's
tell
also
you.
not going to be a great one this round, right? Because of the bonuses.
I mean,
He's fairly easily beaten by Jawas.
for
It's kind of silly, but it's true.
typically in the non over the top buff ones,
Yeah.
Revan's usually,
Yeah.
some people will put one zone of Revan in there, right? Some don't put Revan down at all. Some don't even have it, so it's a moot point. It depends on your guild strategy. Everybody uses Revan in a different way. I know MC, we use it differently, but that's based off who we're facing and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the officers kind of make an evaluation and then let us know, and then we go forward and kick ass. So it just depends on how many Revens your guild has, what level of TW that you're facing, and all those things factor in. So that's kind of what you're looking at for Revan. I've seen it where we've done territorial wars where nobody put Revan down, and I've seen it where they put one on defense and save some for offense. I mean, there's different ways of going about it.
Yeah, every territory war and Grand Arena is situational, so you always want to revise your strategy both sides. I mean, like Grand Arena, especially when you're on your own and you're flying solo, like you just want to do your homework. And I sit down with a piece of paper and write down the speeds, and I go all in. So
well, yeah, I mean, and me and Xylo and MC, we're there just if anybody has any questions. Xylo more than me, because I'm always getting like 900 in Discord messages. But our whole purpose is, we've got it. When you've done it enough, you're kind of like a well-oiled machine. So for us, we kind of know what we're doing, and so it's like, okay, we know what defense, blah 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 blah, and then we're like, okay, offense, and then we go in there and just get her 5 to 6 wins, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. But sometimes with us, we can't because they're clearing, dude. Like if you don't get a piece of the pie, you ain't getting anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had a couple times where it's like, all right, I've got one battle done. I'll come back later and check. Wait, the board was cleared. What the hell? What the? Glad I could help, guys. That's right, my apprentice. They were fast. He's very active today.
Yeah, man. He's been talking up a storm lately, too. And he's been doing that a lot.
Feel your anger, my apprentice.
Give me your fart noise.
Unleash your hatred for those that are light.
Yeah, I mean, like this.
My apprentice.
This last territory was great, man. And I mean, like we went in the 46 this time around, so I ended up stuffing a little down on defense, and I still got some good banners. I love the territory wars during the week a little more than on the weekends, personally.
It's harder on the weekends.
Yeah, I can be a little more hands-on and more available on the weekdays, but the weekends are, like Ranger said, you go in there and you're like, all right, first wall's down, and oh, ships is gone. Oh, we're south now. Oh, it's over. It's awesome. MC has a great time. So.
Yeah, we love territory wars. All right, next question, please, Mr. Gingivitis.
Hey, Zingy. Question, can Finn respond to my Discord message for placing me in the queue for a roster review? Thanks.
Finn?
That's why I tell them to bug me. I'm playing Anthems. I'll do it after.
Oh, so there you go. So you're not responding to our fans because you're playing Anthem.
Yes.
Well, at least
remember how I was saying that Finn's a slacker?
That's right.
I mean, I give you props, homie. You're straight up honest about it.
I ain't lying. I tell you, bug me. Man. I don't care. I know.
Yeah, bug him.
I'll add you right now. Let me check your the PMs and
everything. Rampage question. Finn, any way you can post the queue for the roster reviews in Discord? Just interested to see how long I have before my review.
You can just ask me. Just ping me and ask me, and I'll tell you where it is. We don't make it public just because in case some people cancel and that kind of stuff. So.
It's never public.
Oh, look who showed up at last minute after we've done everything.
I tell you, I don't do anything, and I'm here to take all the credit.
I'm sorry, Grande, that we had to interrupt you in your pool time. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, Grande, I'm playing Anthem.
I noticed that. I'm looking.
Rampage question, how do you find your arena shard?
So you open up the game, SWGOH, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. and then whenever you're there, just to the right of the store is where the arena shard is. You click on that, and that's how you find your arena shard.
What?
He asked how to find Squad Arena. I told
That's
him.
not what he meant.
Figure out where you were going with that, and then it hit me.
God, stupid Grande, man.
He didn't ask how to find his arena shard. Chat.
so
He
part of
asked
what-
how to find his arena shard.
That's what he meant. God damn.
I know.
Part of what Grande said isn't necessarily wrong either. If you use the Start Chat stuff, you can create a group now in game to start an in-game PM.
Yeah.
You can message somebody in your shard to see
Yeah.
if they already have an existing chat. Otherwise, you can just ask like Grande or someone, like you can ask me as well. We can help you find people in your shard if you take like a screenshot of like the top few people.
You can probably also Google search the names at the top of your arena shard. My guess is they have an SWGOH profile, and on their profile is their Discord handle.
Yeah, a lot of them put their Discord now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ezra Bean, question, next faction to gear. Troopers or Ewoks for 3PO? Ewoks look a bit easier to gear, less Carbantes.
Troopers. I mean Ewoks all the way. And the reason why it's Ewoks all the way
Zeta.
is because you need 3PO.
And you get
I mean,
Zetas.
And you get, yeah. So it's Ewoks. I mean, what do you really need troopers for? Troopers are nice, but they're not needed. Right now, bounty hunters and Ewoks are
Dark
actually...
Side territory
Unless your guild is
battles.
working on Imperial Probe Droid.
If your guild is telling you, well, look, but you could get Imperial Probe Droid with pretty low geared troopers.
I
Yeah,
know.
the Gear 9, yeah.
Yeah, it just depends on what your. I don't know where his
And I think
guild
that-
is at. I don't know what the priorities are. So
It's pretty freaking low.
It
that
is.
It's pretty freaking low for IPD. I mean, it's like unlock and gear 7, right? And you
Yeah,
don't even
Gear 8
and,
or Gear 9.
and
Some
you don't
good
even have to
mods.
put it. You don't even have to put in all troopers. You just have to put in Veer's lead. I don't think that mission's not that mission is
No,
locked.
it's
No,
gonna be
for
too
IPD,
hard
it's
to
just
not have
troopers.
decent
Are you
ones.
sure it's troopers or it's Empire?
Yeah, just
No,
troopers. The Day 6 mission is the one you can use all Empire.
Day 6 is Imperial Probe Droid, Stark, and then Empire. I think.
Yeah. But day 6 is not really needed for anything. I mean, if
No.
somebody was telling, here's the other thing though. Would I rather have C-3PO or would I rather have IPD?
Well, IPD you can start working on now. C-3PO is we don't know when it's coming back, 3-4 months. So it also depends on what his progress is. If he can get Imperial Probe Droid shorts now, right? The next time the Dark Side Territory battles is coming, which is what in like 2 weeks, that may be better, especially if his whole guild is doing it, because then he gets a whole guild full of those shards, and you get almost enough for an unlock with the first time.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now. I would just
Individually, C-3PO is better for sure.
yeah, and I would.
But
I'm going to tell you, if I was
There's
in
a
that
guild
same,
component too.
if I was in that same predicament, I would go all in on Ewoks, and I'd let somebody else carry my ass. As far I'm serious. As far as troopers are concerned, right? I mean, if you said you wanted to go in on Shore Trooper and Death Trooper because they have a ship, absolutely go for it, dude. But I'd be like Shore Trooper, Death Trooper. That's it.
Jason Shimozaki. Question, in what order should I show my son the Star Wars movies?
Trilogy first.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
I'd start with episode 1.
Oh, I mean, the younger group does definitely. I mean, I like the prequels too, but overall, I mean, I would want to show it how I saw it. You know what I mean?
Episodes 1 through 9 in order. That's what I would
It
do.
would be cool seeing it like that for the first time too, for sure.
When you see it like that, episode 5 is so freaking crazy for your kids. They love episode 5 after seeing them in order.
That is a great point. 5's my favorite, so.
I do feel like it kind of kills 4, 5, and 6 though. Like when you watch it the first time, not knowing Leia and Luke are related, and you'd get that after the trilogy. The first
Yeah, because the end of the original trilogy, right? It's like that's the big reveal is their family, and then like you already know that going out of 3. So
one.
No,
I would definitely
but
do
here
4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
I got to tell you, depending on the age of the kid, they don't make all the connections.
yeah, they can't catch the whole plot, but
They
they
don't
get the
catch
general idea of
I
it.
mean,
Yeah,
if the kid's like 12, 13, then probably do 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. I could see that, right?
yeah.
And you got to throw Han Solo the movie in there somewhere. You can catch that on Netflix.
You could do Rogue One too.
Rogue One is sick good, dude. You got to put Rogue One in order, in my opinion, right? You got to put Han Solo's movie, Rogue One, put all that crap in order. Like, actually watch it in order. It's pretty freaking phenomenal.
The timeline is Rogue One after, right?
It's before
Rogue One
episode
is
4.
It's before episode 4.
Billy Gunn, question.
Before the,
What?
sorry, Stanley. Before the Solo movie, like the Solo movie.
So it goes in
before
order,
Rogue One.
in chronological order. Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, Solo, Rogue One, Star Wars: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and the Last Jedi.
Bang.
Boom shakalaka.
Billy Gunn, question. Do we still go hard on KOTOR and not believe CG that there's no legendary coming?
We've answered this.
I have 12. I went from having 5 characters in my favorites to having 12.
Yeah.
So that's just it's do everything.
I like T Money's reference. Darth something.
Darth something is coming.
Something. Dark side.
Dark side something is coming. Yeah. And let's put it like this, right? So you probably also want to make sure Palpatine is gear 12 for his damn ship. Right? You probably want to make sure Palpatine is gear 12. And who's going to be the other pilot with that? Stormtrooper? Stormtrooper becomes a pilot? Regular old
Royal Guard.
Royal Guard. It's Royal Guard with Palpatine. There's both of them in the same freaking ship. That's exactly what it is. It's Royal Guard and Palpatine as the pilots.
I'm good to go on that.
Yeah, the command shuttle from 6, so they all come out with him, right?
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Okay. Next question, please. No. Stanley.
Contingent 33, question with Yoda's special damage amount. Which is more potent to add, flat offense or offense percent?
Oh, we
Flat.
so
Watched the
flat.
modding thing yesterday. We did.
Watched the modding thing yesterday. So first of all, you could on the right side mods you can only add flats. The right side won't get percentages. So if you went percent offense in the arrow, the triangle, and the diamond, the arrow, the triangle, and the cross, you will not get a percent offense as a secondary. If percent offense is your primary, except for like week 1, the week mods came out. That's the only time I've ever seen it.
Yeah, you won't get those now.
So you won't get them now. So that means you have to put flats in on the right side. Now, let's talk about percentages, right? So when you take Yoda, right? And I think I messed up the percentages on yesterday's stream while we were talking. So I think I said it in the wrong way. But if you look at so you got to do SWGOH, and then you go over here and you look at GMY, right? So let's look at GMY. Now, what we're concerned about is everything goes off. First of all, we're concerned about special offense. And under the special offense category, we are concerned about his special damage. So let's figure out what would 1% offense look like. 1% offense. So at max on GMY, we have 4,387. So what's 1% of 4,387? It's 43. Let's call it 44. So 1% offense as a secondary stat looks like 44 flat offense, which means that gives you a good way to compare them. So that means if you put a flat offense of 100, Or you put a flat offense of 200, because I think I have some flat offense mods that are 200.
200 is usually like the very top end. That's like the equivalent of like a like.
So 200 is equivalent to 5% offense, almost, right? 4.8 offense. Well, I've never seen a 4.8 offense, right? I mean, if I go in here and I look at my mods and I search by percent offense secondary, right? So I come in here and I filter by percent offense secondary, and I see what I've got. And I see what I've got. My best percent offense secondary is 3.3, right? So if you did 3.3, right? We already know. Again, it's freaking math, right? So we already know. So if we did 43, come on, times 3.3, that's equal to 145. So that means if I'm comparing two mods in that spot, the one with percent equals 145 offense. So if I cannot find another diamond that has more than 145 offense, I should use the percent. So the short answer to your question is it depends on your mods. The long answer to your question is do the math. That's the most complete answer I can give. Right, Finity?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Oh, boom shakalaka. I'm just telling you, Finity said I am not wrong.
He's not wrong. What the math will eventually lead you to, by the way, is if you can get a gold 5 on offense percentage, it'll still be lower than your flat offense with a gold 5 with flat offense. On a 5A, you have to take it to 6E to really be able to see a comparison that actually makes it relatively worthwhile to use percentage as a secondary stat over flat. So it just depends if you have the mod. Not a lot of people worked on offense percentage, especially before mods 2.0, because it really was an inferior stat to flat. But now the upgrade from 5A to 6E has made it more worthwhile. But again, you need to have had good rolls on those as well. It's not a simple thing to get. The flat offense is usually safer.
And then, of course, we have some mods which are really weird, and I have a few of these too that proc both a percent and they also proc a flat. So it is possible to get a mod, and I have bunches of these mods that proc both a percent and a flat. Like, for example, I have a speed arrow that procced 182 flat and 1.06%. So you can get a mod that will proc both.
Darth Hideous, question for Ranger. How's the Revan in Arena quest going? More specifically, are you winning?
Yeah. I'll be in the top 5 today. Yesterday I had to stop from 63, so I only got like in the top. I think I finished. What did I finish yesterday? I think 12 or something like that. 11.
We can check it. We can check his GG. It'll tell us.
Oh yeah. I can't remember what I did, but starting from 63 and then. Oh, I can go to my profile right here. Okay. What did I finish yesterday?
Ranger was 13th yesterday.
13th yesterday. Starting up from 63, I'll take it.
Excelente.
So yeah, and I'll finish easily in the top 5 today.
Doya-san, question: what are everyone's thoughts on DB officials' bid about removing mods from Poe to slow his ship down so he can shoot second? Does this undermine the spirit of the game?
No.
It's a
strategy.
Yeah, it's not cheating.
I talk to DB all the time, man, and I thought it was really cool. And I did a counter video myself, and all the counter strategies right now for the Falcon that we have are really unique, and they're not pure counters, but I mean it's interesting to see what people come up with too. So
I think it's ingenious, right? What he's doing is he is trying to use everything at his disposal. You have the ability to change mods, remove mods, add mods, subtract mods on a character on purpose, right? On purpose. They're there for a reason. By all means, it is totally not against the spirit of the game to walk around with a character with naked mods because you I mean, look, you could say the same thing about Old Ben. Some people might put no mods on a double Zeta Old Ben, and the whole reason why is because they want Old Ben to die so that everybody gets all the buffs. You could.
And remember the big
Yeah,
problem with like
strategy.
Nexus or Zombie and stuff, right? Was that you couldn't take the gear off.
Right.
The people that added the gear got stuck, and you didn't give them the option. With this, you definitely have the option.
Everybody has
in order
the
to slow
option.
them down. Now,
As long-
Yeah.
what may happen is that people with Gear 11 pose are going to be even slower than Gear 12 pose. And then this might start to turn its ugly head because people will be like, I can't de-equip my PO to make him slower, and we may see something going on with this too. So just kind of keep that in mind. Everything has a reason. The mod part itself is fine, but eventually it'll be the fact that a PO with Gear 11 is going to be slower than a PO with Gear 12, and that'll actually give you an advantage as well.
Yeah, it's just the exact opposite of like clocking your team, right? Like you want A, B, C, D, and E to go in what
clocking
order.
your team, to some extent, is putting mods on, right? And you can move things
Yeah.
around.
It's just the exact opposite. You know what I mean? Like he's pulling the mods off to slow the character down to get it to go in what order he wants.
But if the strategy is to slow down your PO, and you can accomplish that by lowering your gear as well, and a Gear 11 has a benefit over a Gear 12, then you have some questions, right? Like that goes back to the whole Night Sister Zombie argument. So it's just
I agree with
something
that.
to be cautious about, just because of the reason. Me personally, I think Zombie was way too bad because of what she was doing, because you could literally go with like Gear 1 and stuff and it was a benefit. Poe is a Gear 11 versus a Gear 12, and a Gear 12 Poe was actually very helpful on a resistance team. So I'm fine with this because I think actually there's a detriment to not having a Gear 12 Poe. So I think it makes sense in this particular case. But just something to keep in mind if this is the counter that shows up, and then there will definitely be questions.
I think it's cool. It's different. So
Nathaniel Morgan, question: Xylo, can you please help Ranger with ships?
I don't
He knows
care.
what he's
I don't
doing.
care
He
about
just
ships.
doesn't want to play. Not a lot of people like ships.
I just do my
I mean,
battles. If I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. I usually get in like the top 20. I don't care. That ships is just not. I don't care. So
Yeah, everybody's got a different passion
what's
for
his average?
ships, and
his average is 28. Leave him alone.
yeah, I mean it's still the top 50, and then you know what I mean, like he still does one or two battles like everybody else. You know what I mean, not a lot of people like ships, and if he doesn't want to play it, he doesn't have to. I'm not gonna be like Ranger, go do 5 ship battles and do another 5 after that, and
We're not his mom and dad.
yeah.
I don't care about ships. I really don't.
Yeah, I play ships when I can too. I can't
I
play
usually
ships all the
usually
time,
when I'm
so.
doing ships, like when I'm doing, I'm just trying to set stuff out. So I'm like, I've been messing around with the fleets a little bit, but it's not a priority for me.
Yeah,
Other areas like Grand
Rangers-
Arena, Territory Wars Arena, Grand Arena, that stuff I'll focus in more on. If ships is your thing and you enjoy it, enjoy it. I'm happy for you, but I just I don't find as much fun in ships as I do, arena and stuff like
in
that.
general, characters
Right.
or game modes.
Generally
Yeah.
like characters better than you like ships, right?
Yes, definitely.
Most people do. Yeah.
And that's totally fine. Next.
Andrew Schumann, question: when is Darth Jar Jar coming? Well, he'll probably be announced exactly 2 months from today.
Yep. I hope so. I think that would be pretty neat.
Ah.
And after that, we'll get Dark Port. Go ahead,
Oh
next.
God.
What else? 73 question: why is Grande trying to make us do math when he isn't mathing so well himself?
Oh,
My head
that's a good
hurts.
point.
Was I not mathing well? I thought I was doing pretty good. Maybe I made a mistake in there
They're
somewhere.
just trolling you from yesterday.
Oh, dude, yesterday I did it in my head and I wasn't thinking straight. It was I made a mistake. Like 4 people yesterday
That early.
like pinged me and were like, Grande, your math's wrong. And I was like, I don't know what I said, but whatever I said, it was wrong because 2 people have now told me.
You don't remember what you said? 'Cause I was reading in chat.
I think what I said was, I think I said that like 600 was 1% of 6,000.
That is what it was.
I think I said
600 was 1% of 6,000.
and I meant to
no,
say-
it's not Grande, it's 10%.
That's
I went to say 60 was 1% of 6,000. Yeah.
Mhm. That is exactly what the mistake was.
It was that's a decimal point error.
Kind of a big decimal point error.
It's just one. Isn't every decimal point error kind of a big error?
It
Just
depends. Not when you're working like the thousandth and the 10,000ths. It's not as big, but well, again, depends on your field too.
yes, yeah. A machinist is going to tell you that's a big deal.
Yeah, a machinist is definitely going to tell you that's a big deal.
A dentist would probably tell you that's a big deal.
That's right. And so will the person being operated on.
Yes. All right.
Helenix, question for Ranger. Only because you are my second favorite RSG crew member
Oh, for
after
Christ's
Miss McVenom. And because I haven't done it in a while, have you guys watched my Jedi Knight Revan unlock video? # shameless self-promotion.
I was going to until you just shamelessly self-promoted. So
Yep.
no.
I only watch fans who say that Grande Patron is their favorite RSG
No,
member.
I'm
so.
number 2.
You're number 2. You're number 2. I'm apparently lower than number 2. Number 3, number 4, number 5.
I think you'd be ahead of me.
There is a hierarchy to this. You know.
And usually I'm at the bottom. And if I'm
Everyone
not,
go
then
check
you
out
bring me.
Helenix's Revan Unlock. I haven't seen it yet, so you have to bear with me. 4 streams during a day kind of limits me to what I can do, and I'm doing a Battlefront stream today after this, so, you know.
So I was thinking of actually streaming Anthem later.
What
I
time?
don't think I'm going to do it. There's an awful bug with this game right now.
Oh no, really?
So when you shoot, when you're in the heavy javelin, the friggin' javelin goes like crazy. Like the whole screen starts shaking like insanity.
Oh,
It's
okay.
ridiculous. I'll show you here in a second.
Ridiculous.
You guys will be able to see it on Zoom, and then you can explain it to the people. But it's awful.
Nice backpack.
All right. Let's finish up these questions, Stanley. How many more we got?
That was the last one.
Hey! We did it, guys. Good job, guys. We're together. Good job. Did it. All right. So if you guys haven't stopped what you're doing right now, give us a thumbs up on the video.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
Do it. Don't do it for me. Do it for the young emperor.
No. Do it for me. Do it for me. Like
Oh,
and subscribe for Grande Patron.
Okay. There we go. So do those things. Check out our Patreon. Finn, we got some ACS stuff we want to talk about, or we're waiting to put out the news on that?
Yeah, we'll put out more stuff next week.
Yeah.
What we are doing, by the way, for those of you guys that are able to, on Wednesday nights, we're going to be doing some more giveaways during the week. So if you guys are on during the Wednesday night stream and you guys donate during that time, we'll have some specific things that you guys can donate to and for a potential giveaway. But all the other stuff is still available there for you guys. And you can donate to me wearing a wig, Grande wearing a now crop top shirt that says I'm TG Carey's Pool Boy.
That's right. And my wife is gonna get me a plum snuggler. That's what.
No.
Go along with it. I'm gonna
Well,
look just.
if you're wearing that, you're wearing pants over it. I'm telling you right now, you're not walking in the park with us with the plum smuggler.
Yeah, some of those special like basketball plants with freaking Velcro on the sides, so I can go. Whoopsh. Snap pants.
God.
I'm gonna be like, I'm such a big deal. Whoop-ha!
God.
So that's not happening.
Yeah, that's not
If you
happening.
want to know what is happening, make sure you tune in on Wednesday.
All right.
It'll be huge. It'll be
gonna be so
huge.
huge.
We're gonna have to build a wall around it.
Oh God. Really? This is
Retarded. All right. So that's our show for today. I'm going to do Battlefront at 5 Eastern. We're going to be doing Heroes versus Villains. Join me, Force Master, and Decepticons as we continue on the Battlefront front. And then to remember, guys, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, U.S., we will be doing the Jedi Academy, where we bring the best and the brightest of YouTubers and game changers together and answer all your questions. It's a straight Q&A show, so make sure you check that out. And on behalf of myself and the RSG crew, thank you guys for stopping in. Have a great rest of your day, and we will holler at you later. Peace.